Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix, and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. Mortal Kombat, I'm very sorry. Mortal Kombat! 1995, Paul W.S. Anderson. This film follows three people who inhabit the plane of Earthrealm. All three's paths eventually converge when, through forces outside of their own control, they are made to compete in the Mortal Kombat tournament. There, with the help of the Thunder God Raiden, this trio of warriors must fight the forces of the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung and stop his dastardly schemes once and for all. Well, we're at the end of Classics Month and we're ending it off with one of my favorites from when I was a wee lad. In recent years, I don't recall ever reviewing this film in any form, but now that I've given it another watch, I think it's safe to say that this film is one of the few exceptions to the rule about video game movies. That being that they fucking suck. Man, just what a goddamn fun film. Now, purely as a movie, I don't think any particular element of this film could be called great. Hell, some of this can't really even be called good. Paul W.S. Anderson is a competent director, but he's very much a studio director. Nothing he has done has ever been really impressive. But what he and writer Kevin Droney managed to do here is capture the essence and spirit of what Mortal Kombat is. Visually, the film is shot competently. Most of the action scenes are put together in a passable manner. When the film allows those with proper martial arts and stunt choreography training to get going though, Paul let them shine and shot them to make sure you saw their incredible talent. Another element that stood out to me in this watch was the lighting. Paul's films from this era had very bright and stark lighting. In this film though, the lighting was quite dynamic compared to those other films. There's a varied color palette of blues, purples, and oranges that lit up the screen and allowed Paul to play with shadows and stuff neatly. Every set and scene had its own unique little palette, which was very memorable. In terms of production design though, it's certainly inconsistent. It can hold up in certain areas, but can show its age in others. The sets in this are really fun when viewed from a purely practical lens. They remind me a ton of all those arenas from Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and they were really well constructed. In terms of costumes, it reeks of the 90s, and while it didn't bother me a ton, the characters did look a tad plain. Liu Kang dressed like Liu Kang, I suppose. Sonya dressed like Sonya, Johnny Cage dressed like Johnny Cage, but their costumes were the most bare-bones versions of what they could be. Shang Tsung was super fucking 90s and edgy, but that was fun, so that gets a pass. Kitana though looked terrible, and why they had her wear that boring-ass brown black leather getup is beyond me. Like, would it kill them to put her in something blue? You know, 'cause Kitana wears blue. But the one element that doesn't really hold up at all is the special effects. Mortal Kombat is one of those films that utilized CGI in a prominent manner, but was too early to do so in a manner that would have guaranteed it aging relatively gracefully. From certain backdrops and magical powers to characters like Reptile and Goro, the computer effects in this film look fucking horrendous. Goro especially looks bad, and that regardless of CGI, if there was any with that character. Even if the majority of it was done with an expensive animatronic / puppet, it looked like shit, and it ripped me right out of the film. Score and soundtrack plays a big element in this film. It's the sort of music that you would want and expect in a Mortal Kombat movie. The original music is the kind of pounding drums and wind instruments that you would hear in the martial arts films Paul was probably watching in his youth. As well, there are these super dick cheese rock and metal parts that were composed by Buckethead, and as dated as they sound, their presence in the action sequences made me smile a little. Notably, the soundtrack uses two pieces from that Mortal Kombat techno record. The intro piece, Techno Syndrome, has become synonymous with the franchise, and has long since been accepted as the theme because it is a straight fucking banger. Now, let's not mince words here. The writing and the acting isn't that good. The cast certainly looked the part. Robin Shou was looking ripped as Liu Kang. Bridget Wilson cuts a hell of a presence as Sonya Blade. And Lyndon Ashby definitely nails the role of Johnny Cage. Now, whatever the fuck Christopher Lambert was doing as Raiden, I'll at least say it's memorable. And if the script were better, I'd make less note of it. And probably the best performance of the film, though, we had the great Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa as Shang Tsung. He was hamming it up in this film like a true villain, and he definitely matches the energy of the video games well. The script, though, is a big problem with this movie. It is just full of anime-tier, clunky-ass exposition, where characters over-explain every element of every scene. It also throws in video game references with the subtlety of a fucking sledgehammer. If I had to hear one more character say flawless victory, I would have died of fucking cringe. As well, the script is full of rushed character development and moments that didn't earn any of the importance that it insisted it had. Like, why should we care about that one black dude that got his shit kicked in by Goro? Didn't you meet that dude like a few days ago? There were no scenes of those people chumming about, so why should I even be invested in that? But ignoring all of that, what I think is the strongest element of the script is that it captures the tone and spirit of Mortal Kombat. At its best, this film revels in how silly the series is, and revels in the influences of the director and writer. Both the fights featuring Johnny Cage are prime examples of this. Over-the-top set pieces that feature ridiculous choreography. It never takes violence seriously and treats it as if it were a cartoon. Johnny Cage fucking nutshotting Goro or him slicing Scorpion to bits was amazing. Could you say that the PG-13 rating neutered it? Sure. But the intent was there, and I appreciated that. Look, is Mortal Kombat here really a good movie? Not particularly. There are many elements to this film that are either dated or outright sloppy. But does Mortal Kombat understand the goals and elements that made its source material so much fun? Hell yeah, it does. Neutered as it may be by the rating, Paul still reveled in the silliness of the action and created something that aided in cementing Mortal Kombat as a pop culture institution. It's a video game adaptation that respected its source material and created something everyone could enjoy. Novel concept, I wish they would try it more. Anyways, if you want some 90s dick cheese, definitely throw this on with your friends one night, as it is certainly a crowd-pleasing affair. And I am feeling a 6 out of 10 on this one. It's a little generous, but it's fun. It's goddamn Mortal Kombat. I got what I wanted. Catch you later, guys.